Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this is part 10 where we are just making our application more intelligent, not only powered with RAG, but whatever the additional concept through which we can increase the accuracy of our application. Right? In a previous video, we just covered a re-ranking model concept. Why do we need it? What kind of problem vector similarity is having, which re-rank model actually overcome with those limitations. If you haven't watched my previous video, I would highly recommend you to watch that so that you can understand the concept of re-rank. But if you are pretty much aware of and you are just looking for the code implementation, I don't think you have to watch that. But we are going to use code which we have written in the previous part. So I would highly recommend you to watch part 8 because I'm going to just implement this re-rank in part 8 written code. Right? So this is what we have written in part 8, So this is the application which you can see, right? Okay, so now what we need, so let's quickly define the high level flow which we want to achieve, and then we are going to just do the coding part, right? So the very first thing which we need is we need a re-rank model. From where we are going to do that, we are going to find that on a Pinecone library, right? So this is the Pinecone vector database website. Here you can find these models, right? So we have Cohere re-ranking, then we have a BG re-ranker B2M3. So similarly, if you just go to the models and if you just look for the re-rank, you will find that. Right, so this is really awesome, and this is the implementation which we have. So for this implementation, all we need is we need to call an inference class, and then we are going to call the re-rank model, re-rank method, and passing all the information which you can see on the screen. Right, so what I have done is I have already written this simple code where we are saying, okay, re-rank with Pinecone, accepting query, docs, and how many number of records we want to extract. Right. So here, if you just see, it's simple, creating a connection, just making a PC, just making a Pinecone client, and then calling an inference API, and then we are calling a re-rank method. There we have to feed in model, query, document, stop, and how many records we want to return, and the returns document equals to which is going to just give us the document back. Right. So this is the function which we have to write. So let me just copy this entire function and just put it in a code, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to keep it at the top. Okay, this is the last one. Okay, so now we have this. The next thing is what we need is we really need to see how we can utilize this, right? So as I mentioned, explained in the previous video, now what we're going to do is along with utilizing a vector similarity where we are going to extract more number of records rather than just having 3, and that more number of records of the document which we get from the vector similarity we will feed into the re-rank model. So basically now in 2 phases we are going to create the context based on the query which we are feeding to our system, right? So what we need here is, first of all, we have to just include another variable in our config.py through which we are actually driving how many records we want. So currently, if you just see, we have this top key result, which is returning 3 records from the vector similarity, right? So now we need more records. So let's assume that we want 10 records, right? So we are just getting a 10 record based on the vector similarity or the vector similarities, right? And those 10 documents we are going to feed into the re-rank model where we are expecting it to return 3 records, right? Okay, so this part is done. Okay, we added a function as well. Now we need to change the way we are just creating a context, right? So what we're going to do, where we are doing that, we are actually doing that when we are generating a questions, generating the answer for our question. So that's the main function, answer question about PDF, and that is where we have this context docs, right? So now we don't need, we really need this context docs, but this time this context docs is going to feed into the re-rank model along with this logic, right? So for that, what we can do, we can just simply copy this part. And then simply so what we are doing first, same, but we just rename this to the initial docs, and this initial docs is being fed to the new function, which is using a re-rank model with top K re-rank, right? So this is where we have, this is the variable which we have defined in config.py, and we are just extracting that. Now we have this re-rank. So what we can do is we can use a similar thing here, and we are just formatting that the same way. Here we can say, okay, cool, right? That's pretty much it. These are the three changes which we need to make. Now we are just extracting the document in two phases. First, we are using a vector similarity, and the second time we are just feeding that output of a vector similarity to the rerank model. And now we should be having our application more intelligent, and we will be getting a more accurate and the precise context for our questions, right? So let's quickly run this and see if we are getting the output what we are expecting once we have this re-ranking thing in place. Okay, so let's quickly just go through. Okay, we have built a function expecting a document in the vector similarity, and that extracted document is feeding to the re-rank model, building a context again with the re-rank model output, and then modify the workflow. So now the workflow is modified because first we check with the question, search the document with vector similarity, output of that goes into the re-rank model, and then build prompt and AI answer. So okay, so now our application server is up and running. We can quickly click here. Okay, so we can just do the PDF file, whatever we want. Okay, so what should we do now? Probably we can just do the service branch. The service design basics. Okay. Process PDF. So far, there is no impact in this feature because we haven't changed anything. The only changes which we have made in the ask question part, right? But this is the end-to-end flow in which first, data needs to be uploaded to the Pinecone, right? So let's come back here on the server, Pinecone initialize, namespace clear, waiting checks just added, suggested questions, summary. So we got the summary as well as the suggested question. So we got a summary which looks good. We have some proper questions as well. Okay, so what is the definition for all of this? We can copy this question. We can come here and ask question. We can ask this question. And let's see what happens now. Let's come back here. Okay, so now we can see retriever configured to fetch 10 results, right? Re-ranking 403, while we are having this 403. Okay, permission denied, the project was not authorized. Oh, so I'm not having access to this. Okay, so what I'm gonna do rather than using the one, it seems like for that I have the paid service, so I can quickly change this model. So what I'm gonna do now, let's come back here. I think this one is something which we can use for free. Okay, so I'm gonna change that here. Or what we can do, we can just feed it, config.py, where we are having this model Pinecone. Okay, so we have this model already here, right? So we can use this. So where is so we can this save back here, use it, do an application, back in the thing. This one, the service basics, different basic PDF, the server, it's cleaning that new space, it's done. Now we are just making a call to the connection. We will take the summary is generated. Now it's going to create a question for us. So far, everything looks good. Questions are created. Now it will be prompted to our UI. So now we can see the summary as well as the questions. We can ask the question. So let's copy the first one. And come back here on questions. This question, and ask this, and probably this time you should not get the same error which we were getting. Okay, so this is initialized. Generated answer. So it seems like, first it was able to just configure the first 10 results and 3 documents shown. Generated answer. Okay, so now we can see this is the retrieval context of 3 records, and then this is the answer which we are getting, right? So this looks good. The additional thing which you can do if you want, you can just add some print statement to see whether the 10 documents are being requested during the first phase or not. So you can just print out the context. We have just, did that with the help of a rerank docs, right? So I think we should be good. Cool. So I think this is what I wanted to cover, and you can just make your application more accurate by using this re-rank model. I'm using this one, but you can just do the analysis like which one seems to be the best one. I think Cohere is really awesome one, but I haven't used it. But you can just figure it out which model offering what kind of feature, right? And based on your use case, you can decide on which re-rank model you should be using, right? So there can be multiple things. I mean, you can just combine two re-rank, and it's completely depend what kind of use case or what kind of problem you are trying to solve with the re-rank. So that's it from my side for this particular video. And if you have any feedback or suggestion, please feel free to put that into the comment section, and I would love to incorporate that in my upcoming video. Thanks for watching this. And one more request which I have for you, if you really like this video, please give a thumbs up. Click on the notification bell, so whenever my new video will be published, you will be notified for this. And please don't forget to subscribe for my channel if you haven't subscribed for this channel. If you feel this kind of video can help your friends, group, and colleagues, please feel free to share with them. Once more, thanks for watching this. Stay healthy and keep learning.